Senator Whitten.
Thank you, President. My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Veterans Affairs. Today is Vietnam Veterans Day, and Labor has chosen to cap the Veteran Allied Health Services to $5,000 a year in the 26-27 budget. Since the announcement, there has been an outcry from the veteran community, especially those in the regions. Many veterans in remote regions note that the cap will be chewed up on travel, leaving barely anything left over for the actual treatments. Yesterday, the Minister for Veterans Affairs refused to consider revising the cap, despite veterans not being able to access the care that they need. Can the Minister, who has refused to help veterans, explain why they refuse to help these brave warriors and their families who are going to suffer under these caps?
Thank you, Senator Whitten. Minister McAllister.
Thank you, President. And Senator Whitten began his question by referencing Vietnam Veterans Days, and I might take the opportunity, Senator, to acknowledge that we do mark Vietnam Veterans Day today. It is 60 years since the Battle of Long Tan. On that day, 18 Australians lost their lives, 24 more were wounded. And it is the case that for many years this was a day that served as an unofficial commemoration for Vietnam veterans. It was Prime Minister Bob Hawke who named the 18th of August as Vietnam Veterans Day in 1987, and I'm sure senators across the chamber join together in acknowledging and honouring the service of all of those people who returned and all of those who didn't. You ask about the changes to allied health funding. We do want to ensure that veterans have access to high-quality health services that support their health and support their well-being. And we also acknowledge the incredible work that is undertaken by the thousands of providers who treat veterans and their families. For that reason, we are making the most significant payment increase for allied health services provided to veterans in 20 years. And the increase to fees paid to providers will expand the network of allied health professionals that are available to veterans. It will improve access to care, Senator. It will promote greater treatment options for veterans, and the increase to fees for allied health providers delivering services to veterans will include physiotherapy, psychology, occupational therapy, podiatry and other allied health professionals. And this measure provides a robust response to the recommendation number 71 of the Royal Commission into Defence and Veteran Suicide, which called for an increase in DVA's fee schedules. Senator, we are also reducing the burden on veterans to go back to a GP every 12 health visits for a new referral, and instead expanding this to a $5,000 threshold before veterans' care is refused.
Thank you, Minister. The time for answering has expired. Senator Whitten, first supplementary.
We've heard from veterans groups that DVA assessments are being funnelled through the MLCOA, who holds the sole supplier contract with DVA. Veterans want to have the right to choose their own assessor, practitioners who know them and who they are comfortable with. Will the Labor government commit to providing veterans with the dignity of choice over their own care instead of funnelling them through Labor's preferred suppliers?
Thank you, Senator Whitten. Minister McAllister.
Thank you, President. Senator, your question starts from a somewhat incorrect premise in that it is already the case that DVA prefers that compensation medical reports are prepared by the veteran's usual treating doctor. That is the starting point for DVA. That is because that doctor is engaged in their ongoing care and focused on enhancing their well-being. And it recognises, as your question indicates, that that treating provider's clinical knowledge of the veteran is important, and will also it helps by minimising unnecessary appointments and duplication. However, on occasion, independent medical exams are required, and that is where a veteran cannot access a medical provider, where the information that has been provided is incomplete or unclear, or where a claim is particularly complex or additional medical information is required to support a decision. In every case, whether it is an independent medical examination or a treating practitioner—
Thank you, Minister. The time for answering has expired. Senator Whitten, second supplementary.
We ask these brave men and women to run at bullets. Our freedom, our safety and our security are paid for with their blood and sacrifice. But when they leave active service, often broken and hurt by what they've experienced, they are treated as second-class citizens. They are looked at as a liability on a budget line item. This isn't good enough. Will Labor change its position and commit to treating these warriors with the respect that they deserve and provide them with the post-care that they need?
Thank you, Senator Whitten. Minister McAllister.
Thank you, President. Well, this government is committed to improving the lives of Australia's veterans and families by providing them with the support that they need and that, in fact, they deserve. Because veterans answer the call to service and they make sacrifices for this nation, Senator. And our government understands that. We want to ensure that veterans do have access to high-quality health services and a system that is fair and efficient and focused on veteran wellbeing. That is the basis of the increases we are making to the fees for treating professionals. As I indicated in my answer to your primary question, it's the single largest change in 20 years, and it responds directly to the recommendation that was put before us by the Royal Commission. We want veterans to have the care that they need. We want them to be able to do it without unnecessarily returning to their GP.
Thank you, Minister. The time for answering has expired. Senator